Tonight on News 3 at 10, a Madison conservancy is getting cleaned up after weeks of rain created quite a mess. And after flooding causes devastation in Reedsburg, volunteers are trying to get the town back to normal.
This is News 3 at 10.
A few weeks ago, we showed you the Pheasant Branch Conservancy destroyed by this year's flood. The city of Middleton is looking at a $2.5 million price tag to fix it. Amy Reed shows us how volunteers are trying to help out. Amy?
Yeah, Amanda, about 100 people showed up to clean up the Pheasant Branch Conservancy today. It was more than they expected. The organizers didn't even have enough garbage bags for everyone, but for many, it was the first time they had a chance to take a look at the path the flooding left behind. Ben is on a search for treasure. But his journey here in the Pheasant Branch Conservancy has no map and no clues.
We'll just put it in the garbage anyway.
Just treasure.
Oh, that's a big chunk of glass.
In the form of junk.
I found glass on this trail and the metal on the other trail.
Ben and his family are with nearly 100 other hunters, picking up the pieces after water ripped it apart.
Many people have enjoyed it for years and years, and then all of a sudden to see it in this way makes it very heartbreaking, I guess.
The walls are torn down, branches and debris everywhere. Overall, $2.5 million in damage. The volunteers wanted to help, but with devastation like that, they also had to see it to believe.
Oh, it's completely trashed. There's no other way of putting it. I mean, you could tell. I knew it was going to look that way just from the photos that were published.
It's a hard thing to see for the people that loved this area most.
It won't be the same as that it was, at least for a long time.
I was like,
but with people like Ben,
what is that?
Looking for trash and treasure, Pheasant Branch can grow back.
I'm a great helper.
Friends of Pheasant Branch, that's the group that helps out with the conservancy, is already meeting with UW researchers to figure out a plan for regenerating the area, but it will likely be years before it's finished.
All right, thank you so much, Amy. Cleanup efforts are underway this weekend in Sauk County now that the Baraboo River is finally receding. Volunteers were out early this morning in Reedsburg as part of an operation headed by the state's Department of Natural Resources. Volunteers took sandbags out to the curbs. The city will then pick them up and dispose of them. They also took furniture out of the basements. Some volunteers came to Reedsburg from more than an hour away to help clean up after the floodwaters.
Had almost 50 volunteers, and they've been out in the community doing sandbagging work, cleaning up parks. It's been a real incredible response from the community.
The DNR will also need volunteers in Rock Springs, North Freedom, and Baraboo throughout the week. If you can't help volunteer, you are asked to donate small items like hygiene kits, school supplies to the First Presbyterian Church in Reedsburg. All right, let's turn it over to Dana with a look at your first alert forecast. We've got sunshine.
We do, Amanda. So we were nice and beautiful today, fairly clear for us right now, and certainly no rain threat at all. Actually, I want to take a little wider look at our Doppler track. We had seen some rain, or did see some rain to the south of Wisconsin. If we look throughout the Midwest, those showers just moving through in the last 48 hours, Illinois, southern Indiana, and Ohio. Right now, things just look fantastic for us in Wisconsin. We really are expecting to see a clear sky overnight. The rain's continuing to move east, and there is just no threat for us in our forecast. We're currently a little cool outside. Temperatures in the low 50s in Dane County, about 59 in Janesville, close to 55 in Platteville, and that dew point temperature, what really matters, how muggy it feels, in the 40s right now, 49 in Madison. No fog concerns for us overnight. Again, mostly clear and chilly. We'll hit an overnight low of about 48 early tomorrow morning, and we're in for another lovely sunny day. We'll take a closer look at your Monday forecast in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks so much, Dana. In eastern Wisconsin today, the Coast Guard is telling people to stay out of Lake Michigan. Officials say waves could climb upwards of 8 feet high this weekend. Waves aren't the only issue, as the Coast Guard says the current often carries an undertow that could pull you under. Dangerous swimming conditions exist until at least tomorrow morning. Now that floodwaters in Sauk County are finally starting to go down, work on assessing the damage can begin. Assessors are scheduled to be back in Laval tomorrow. They were actually supposed to start work last Monday before the second round of heavy rains and flooding forced them to leave. Sauk County Emergency Management says those assessors won't be able to visit every home right now, but they'll be collecting a sample of the damage for emergency declaration purposes. They'll be back later for a more thorough assessment. Officials say people should be on the lookout for possible scammers, and any legitimate assessors will have proper ID. Dane County is waiving permit fees usually associated with construction for anyone whose properties have been damaged by flooding. While zoning permits aren't needed for some weather-related repairs, other residential building does require those plans to be approved by the county. Erosion control fees have to be paid if the changes are within 1,000 feet of a lake. Those permits start at $50 for homeowners. The county board adopted a similar exemption when an EF3 tornado hit Stoughton in 2005. Damaging $34 million worth of property. According to the latest estimates, Dane County homes and businesses sustained about $155 million in damage in the recent flooding. A motorcyclist is dead and his passenger is in critical condition after they crashed into a farm tractor in Fond du Lac. It happened on Highway 151 in Tachita. The sheriff's office says the motorcycle was trying to pass the tractor when the tractor started turning into a field. The motorcycle driver and passenger, both from Chilton, were ejected. The driver died at the scene while the passenger was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The tractor driver was not hurt. A former Wisconsin transportation secretary is criticizing Governor Scott Walker for suggesting the state can save money by not adding lanes as it rebuilds roads. Walker says people may drive less in the future, but Mark Gottlieb notes traffic has been increasing since the 2008 recession. Walker's spokesperson blamed former Governor Jim Doyle for shifting money from roads to schools. Gottlieb is the third former top aide to speak out against the governor in recent months. Madison police say a teenager is in the Dane County jail tonight after threatening a Metro bus driver. Officers say around 10:30 last night on the 800 block of Badger Road, the teenager threatened to punch the bus driver. When he was arrested, police found a handgun on him and some marijuana. He's being charged with possession of marijuana and felon possession of a firearm. Madison police say they're investigating a report of a sexual assault near Elver Park. Officers say it happened yesterday afternoon on the sidewalk near McKenna Boulevard and Park Heights Court. The suspect allegedly forced sexual contact on a 17-year-old boy. Police are still searching for that suspect. One of Madison's biggest athletic events outside of the university is bringing thousands of athletes to the Madison area. The 17th annual Wisconsin Ironman got underway early this morning. The triathlon had to adjust some of its course this year to deal with flooding downtown. We're still waiting to hear how many athletes participated this year, but last year the event brought more than 2,000 people. Fans cheering on athletes today say it's a moving event.
I think it's pretty cool how inspiring this is, and you hear people from all over the world that are competing, from Russia and Lithuania and all these different countries.
The last races will be wrapping up tonight around midnight. It's been nearly 2 months since Sun Prairie's deadly gas explosion, and while recovery is underway, people are still finding ways to help. Today in Sun Prairie, there was a lemonade stand benefiting the Sun Prairie Disaster Relief Fund. Our Savior's Lutheran Church organized the event. They say although to some the explosion seems like a memory, it's never too late to help.
I think anytime that there's a disaster, it's easy to support right after it happens. But the reality is those businesses, those families will struggle for quite some time. So it's important to remember them and support them.
Sun Prairie firefighters also stopped by the event today to enjoy a glass of lemonade. The Trump administration continues to push back against depictions of chaos inside the White House. Today, Vice President Mike Pence was on CBS's Face the Nation, disputing the idea there are widespread doubts within the administration about President Trump's leadership. Those claims come amid a new book by journalist Bob Woodward and a scathing anonymous New York Times op-ed. When he was asked if one of his aides could have written the op-ed, Pence said he didn't even ask them about it.
I know their character. I know their dedication. And I am absolutely confident that no one on the Vice President's staff had anything to do with this.
The vice president also says he'll take a lie detector test to prove it wasn't him who wrote the op-ed. Bob Woodward's book, Fear Trump in the White House, is expected to be released tomorrow. According to numerous reports, CBS chairman and CEO Leslie Moonves is stepping down within the next 24 hours. His impending exit comes as Moonves faces new accusations of sexual harassment and assault. The accusations were reported today by The New Yorker. A source tells CBS News Moonves has been offered a separation package of $80 million in stock to be held in escrow, pending the results of an independent sexual misconduct investigation. Here's Tony Duckpool.
CBS chairman and CEO Leslie Moonves, the top executive at America's most watched television network, has resigned tonight, bowing to pressure brought on by a widening sexual harassment scandal. CBS Corporation and National Amusement said Sunday night Moonves and CBS will donate $20 million to one or more organizations that support the Me Too movement and equality for women in the workplace. The number of women now publicly accusing Moonves of sexual misconduct has doubled to 12, according to a new report by The New Yorker magazine, detailing 6 previously unreported incidents, which allegedly took place between the 1980s and early 2000s. According to the magazine, they include claims that Moonves forced them to perform oral sex on him, that he exposed himself to them without their consent, and that he used physical violence and intimidation against them. Moonves has denied all allegations of sexual misconduct, though, according to The New Yorker, he acknowledges what he described as consensual relationships with 3 of his new accusers. The magazine says he declined to say which 3. In one alleged incident, when Moonves worked for Lorimar Telepictures in 1986, he invited a fellow executive to lunch, drove instead to a secluded area, and forced oral sex. According to the magazine, he held her head in place forcibly. In another allegation, almost a decade later, Moonves, then the president of Warner Brothers, was working out of the Regency Hotel in Los Angeles. There, he allegedly forcibly kissed a young assistant and aspiring writer and propositioned her, saying, "I could help you, and if you do something nice for me, I could do something nice for you." The New Yorker goes on to quote a third accuser describing Moonves this way: "He's cunning, he's calculating, and he's a predator." Moonves previously described the allegations as part of a concerted effort by others to destroy his name. Now, according to a source knowledgeable about the negotiations, Moonves would leave with no payment, or the corporation could claw back part of the package, depending on the outcome of that independent sexual misconduct investigation. Tony DeCopel, CBS News, New York.
Coming up next on News 3 at 10, it may feel like fall, but some area dogs wasted no time enjoying the last days of summer.
No one
Welcome back. Oktoberfest won't be for a while, but it's never too early to celebrate Puptoberfest. Dog owners grab drinks at Capitol Brewery and enjoy the views. Money raised from the event goes to Occupause. The local nonprofit trains and provides guide dogs to the visually impaired. Organizers say that support like this is essential.
Guide dog to someone, it means independence. Basically, you can go out and you don't have to worry about the curbs and the traffic and the branches. That guide dog gives you the independence to go out and live your life without having to rely on someone else. Your dog is your partner.
Wisconsin's visually impaired can get one of the guide dogs at no extra cost. Puptoberfest participants also enjoyed live music, vendors, and doggy games, of course. On a sunny day like today, a dip in the pool probably sounds refreshing, and it was for our four-legged friends this morning. They got a chance to dog paddle at Goodman Pool, cooling off and taking over the pool area. Proceeds are going to Capital Canines, a group that supports and maintains Madison Police's canine unit.
Working dogs are not purchased by the city. All the funds that we raise go directly to the dogs, to their purchase, their veterinary care, their food, their training, their equipment. So it's really important that the community comes out and supports them.
There were also competitions for longest jump, best trick, and fastest swimmer. I know both me and Dana had a dog. We didn't go to that. I'm sad. We weren't there today.
And it looks like it was so beautiful outside, and all the dogs were having fun. It was a perfect day for maybe a puppy swim. Yeah. Maybe a little cool for us, though, I think. Looking at our radar, we haven't had any rain in the forecast for the last several days. The remnants of Gordon definitely moved through the Midwest, but we saw that rain cutoff line right south of the Wisconsin border. We were certainly seeing quite a bit of showers throughout Illinois and Indiana this weekend. All that rain is now off towards the edge of Ohio. We're looking fairly mellow, a little northeast breeze, but otherwise clear and calm overnight. Currently, it is a little cool. Our breeze has calmed down a little bit, about 3 miles per hour. Earlier today, we saw some strong wind gusts closer to that 20-mile-per-hour range. For our wind gusts, the sustained winds close to about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it was certainly a breezy day. You weren't imagining that outside. Cool. And again, now things are calming down. Looking ahead to tomorrow afternoon, it'll stay fairly calm as well. That's the good news for tomorrow. The breeze dies down. It'll even be a little warmer for us. So overnight lows expected to drop into the upper 40s. It'll be chilly to start off our Monday. And then as we look ahead to the afternoon, plan on a mostly clear sky yet again. A little cloud coverage expected in the southeast corner of Wisconsin, but most of the area looking fantastic. Overnight into Tuesday, another mostly clear night, so it will be cool yet again. And then by Tuesday afternoon, we'll be back in the 70s with highs in the upper 70s for us by Tuesday. The only downside really for our forecast is the potential, of course, for ragweed pollen to be very high over the next several days. If you do have any allergies, please keep that in mind. We don't have any rain to calm anything down. It's going to stay fairly calm for our forecast for the next several days. Outside right now, things look fantastic. We hit a high of about 69 today. That's below average. Our average at 75, and nowhere near that record of 97. Right now, again, 52, that humidity, very comfortable outside as our dew points are in the 70s. No fog concerns for us overnight, just cool overnight, mostly clear. Tomorrow, our highs will be again in the low 70s with that light breeze just calming down a little bit compared to what we saw today. Today it was just a little breezy outside. Over the next 7 days, plan on quite a bit of sunshine for us. That's good news. And then as we expand just a little bit, the 10-day forecast, unfortunately, we are going to watch our next opportunity for rain to come back in. The good news, though, of course, that shower chance is holding off until the start of next week. We'll be keeping an eye out for that.
All right, and we have all those days of sunshine until then.
All those days of sunshine. It's an impressive stretch.
Yes.
We haven't had that for some time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dana. 2 former Badgers making huge plays on Sundays. That story is coming up next in sports.
News 3.
Well, the 197th meeting between the Bears and Packers, truly a tale of two halves, and in what should have been a dream for Packers fans to have Aaron Rodgers back on the field, quickly turning into a nightmare to start. The Packers scored 0 points in the first half. Rodgers carted off of the field mid-second quarter, but came back in the second half, making 2 big throws to start to Geronimo Allison and Devontae Adams for touchdowns. And with about 2:13 left in the game, Rodgers dialing up Randall Cobb for a 75-yard score to take the lead, 24-23 Packers. They are in the lead in the fourth quarter with just seconds left right now. Elsewhere in the NFC North, 49ers visiting the Vikings. Minnesota up by a field goal. Kirk Cousins, the new look Kirk Cousins, airing it out to Stephon Diggs for 22 yards. 10-0 Vikings. Later, Cousins again settling into Minnesota quite nicely, this time to Kyle Rudolph. Cousins completing 20 of 36 for 244 yards. Vikings win at 24-16. The Browns looking for their first win since December 2016, hosting the Steelers. In overtime here, Ben Roethlisberger hit, and the ball goes right into the hands of former Badger linebacker Joe Schobert, who takes it back a couple of yards himself for the gain there. That would set up a field goal for Cleveland from the 43, but guess who would be there to block it? None other than another former Badger, TJ Watt. This is the most Wisconsin-y game ever. Ends in a 21-21 tie. Well, despite some first half hiccups, the Badgers prevailing over New Mexico yesterday at Camp Randall, but evidently not impressive enough for this week's AP voters. Here are the top 6 teams in the country. Alabama still at the top with 54 of the first place votes, followed by Clemson, Georgia, and Ohio State. Oklahoma jumps Wisconsin this week, the Badgers in at number 6, and there is some voter in the country who gave Wisconsin its only first place vote this week. Opportunity up for grabs for the Brewers today, a series sweep for the first time since July 4th when they swept the Twins. Also, win today would mean hanging on to the lead over the Cardinals in the NL wildcard standings, 2.5 games coming into today. They were down until Ryan Braun there getting hit by the pitch. Craig Counsell got tossed for a little disagreement there. Later on, bases loaded for Jonathan Scope, and that is a grand slam. Everybody comes home. Brewers take the 5-2 lead. Corey Knebel finishing it out for the 6-3 win. And the series sweep, Brewers and Cubs at Wrigley starting tomorrow for a 3-game series. Badgers volleyball team finishing up their trip to Texas with a win, setting a school record with 12 aces in the match. That includes Molly Haggerty setting up a career best 5 there. Badgers are now 5-1 on the season. They stay on the road for the Marquette Invitational next weekend before coming back to the field house. And just a little update here, Packers still in the lead. Again, seconds left in this game. Will be lovely for them, for all the adversity they face in this game in the first half, to get a win.
I can kind of sense the excitement while you're sitting here to go see what's happening. I'm trying not to jump out of my seat right now. All right, we'll be right back. Looks like we've got sunny days ahead.
That is the game plan for us. So this weekend was wonderful, and as we look at our radar right now, no rain at all anywhere in Wisconsin, and that's good news for us. We have had a dry few days, just a little breezy outside, but otherwise wonderful. So through the next several hours, we're going to cool down quite a bit. Overnight lows will be back in the upper 40s, and as we look ahead to tomorrow afternoon, in the low 70s for us. Quick look at that 7-day, sunshine on the way through the rest of the week.
And real quick, Packers win 24-23 over the Bears, starting off the season 1-0. Aaron Rodgers throwing for 286 yards, 6 touchdowns. We can all breathe now, everyone.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.